time in the off season. She'll be behind the plate for us or at first base. But to me, she's a bat that we're going to have in the lineup. But she was a tough out. She was a tough out this weekend.
Go ahead and use the raise hand feature for those that want to ask questions, and we'll open it up to the floor. Go ahead, Eric.
Coach, talk about your pitching staff. I know that you've got more arms than you've had in recent years. Talk about the health and what you've seen from your staff here as you get ready to start the season.
Yeah, I'm excited about the pitching staff. So we returned our entire staff. So we lost KK Drotar, which is a big hit. She pitched a lot of innings for us in her career. But we have Kelsey O back, who's a veteran. She is as healthy as she has been in a long time and has looked really good at practice. Carson Oakes, to me, had really came out of the fall, I would say, as our number one pitcher. She's looked very strong here recently and gives you a lot of different looks on the mound. And then Leah Powell, who had our SEC wins last season, had a nice freshman campaign. She'll be back, and I think she'll just be more seasoned this year. And then we've got a lot of different looks with Bailey Bettenbaugh. Rachel Vaughn is back and healthy now as a lefty, and a lefty in Skylar as well.
Questions for Coach? Anybody?
I'll follow up on the pitching piece that, I think you're seeing softball move to larger staffs. It used to be you could play a whole season with two. And now I think it is a little more like the baseball model in that you might have a starter and a closer and somebody throws some middle innings. And I think with the type of pitchers we have, we could really pitch to some different matchups this year.
Eric, go ahead.
What are some of the things you're looking forward to finding out about your team this weekend when you face another opponent that you can't find out at practice or at scrimmage?
Yeah, honestly, for me, it's about our pitchers throwing to different hitters. We have done so much live. I will tell you, it's something that we made a point of emphasis this year, was to make sure our hitters had a lot of ABs going into the season. I would tell you, I think we're probably nearing almost 80 at bats for our hitters. Because we had so many pitchers on staff, we threw live a lot in practice. And I think you can see that that's paying off. Like I said, our hitters look really good. So yesterday in practice, I just said, I cannot wait for our pitchers to face other hitters that don't know them as well. So it's been tough for us getting our hitters out a little bit, just because it's hard to look different after that many looks at the same pitcher. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to solidifying some defensive positions. I think we've really preached talent's flexible, and what we thought was going to be our lineup at the beginning of the season has already changed in our minds, and I think could probably change again. So as you know, we're trying to figure out who's playing the middle infield. We had a middle infield that was the same for 4 and 5 years with Kenzie McGuire and Matt Goldswell. And so figuring out what our middle is going to look like, I think is going to be important. Like I said, we're young and talented, and I think just getting those players reps is going to be important. But I think we're going to start Emma Sellers. She's a freshman at shortstop. She's looked great in practice, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy watching her play.
Michael, go ahead.
Hey, Beverly, you were talking about the hitters looking good during scrimmages, and I'm just kind of curious, what's kind of your feel for how the offense might look and sort of operate this year? Is it, power, speed, kind of what's sort of your feel as far as just the personality of the offense that you're going to
have? I don't think we're going to have tremendous power, but I think we've really talked about understanding the zone. I thought our hitters have done a really nice job in forcing the pitchers to bring it in the zone because of their understanding of the zone. We spent a lot of time in that this fall. So I haven't seen the the hitters give away at bats in terms of expanding their zone and really understanding their zone and what they're looking for. So we spent a lot of time in that. So I think you're going to see a group that's comfortable hitting with 2 strikes, that can put the ball in play and put a lot of pressure on the defenses. So I would say that we're athletic. We will run the bases well. But I think, for us, it's going to be about putting the ball in play hard and being aggressive on the bases.
Who are a couple of you think, key hitters in that lineup, key cogs to make sure that y'all are scoring runs the way you need to?
Well, I mentioned Jordan Fabian earlier. I mean, she's looked fantastic at practice. AJ White for us was our leader in the fall in terms of production at the plate. Now she's fast, right? So AJ can make a triple look easy in our park. So she's a lot of fun when she gets on to watch her run. Katie Preble for us is a senior, and she's looked really, really good at the plate. And with Preble, the ball can leave the park in a hurry. Cassidy Krupit is a returning hitter for us, led the team in RBIs. She's going to be an important piece to the offense, as well as I think Hannah Kumiyama is back from injury, and she has really been having some good plate appearances for us. So she could be a nice surprise for us at the plate.
Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned Jordan a couple times so far. Obviously, I was talking to her yesterday after the scrimmage, but I'm curious, outside of just her hitting ability that you've seen, have you seen her in her senior year now, maybe stepping up as a leader as well for, again, a pretty young team?
Yes, and as a matter of fact, Jordan Fabian was named captain by her teammates. So she's definitely leading us vocally as well. So, she's certainly led it from a work ethic standpoint for a long time, but now she's kind of taken on the added layer of vocal leadership. And I think she's done a really nice job bringing the team along with her, but Jordan will captain the team this season.
Eric, go ahead.
Couple questions, Coach. Obviously, you got the out of the box rule is adjusted this year, where it's no longer an automatic out. It's now a strike, or the opponent could take the result of the play. What was your reaction to the adjustment to that rule?
Yeah, so delayed dead ball, right, will be the call. I think it's good. I think it's like when they changed the illegal pitch rule, right, that you're hoping, because the penalty is not so severe, because before it was an out, right, now it's going to be delayed dead ball, that maybe we'll get it called more. And I think that was the hope when they changed the illegal pitch rule, right, that it was a ball, not a base, not 60 feet. And I think this time, with it not being an out, it's going to help people call it more consistently. So, the argument was from the umpires that it was hard to see. It was tough to see. And I just think they're probably going to see it a lot better now. It'll be easier to see all of a sudden. So I think it's a good change. I thought the penalty was severe before.
And then obviously instant replay, you'll be able to use it in conference series. You've been using it in the SEC tournament, and it'll likely be used in the postseason. Your reaction to that? Do you like that? And is that an adjustment as a coaching staff, that having replay now in conference games?
Yeah, I think it'll be an adjustment, but I love it, right? And I think for a couple of reasons, the fans are used to it, right? Anybody that's been watching sports on TV are used to the replay. I think softball's there now in terms of the coverage, and we have the technology there. We just haven't had the rule in place. So I think the fans have been wanting it. For coaches, we want the call to be right. And so if we have the opportunity to get the call right, we want that. So I got to get used to my go to the headset signal, right? And I think I've sat in a lot of the Zooms as they're training the umpires here recently. They're giving an analogy, which is pretty cool. They I think it makes it easy to understand. They're telling the umpire, when you're on the field, you're the police officer, right? Quick decisions, you make the call. And then when you go to the headset, you're the district attorney, like you're trying to figure out, is there enough video evidence to change this call? And so I think just getting used to the speed of that is going to be great. But I think it's great for the game, and I think the fans want it because they've been accustomed to it in all of their sports.
Coach, you still got a pretty young roster. You had a lot of freshmen last year, brought in quite a few freshmen again this year. So most of over half your roster is underclassmen. Kind of talk about what you can expect from them and kind of how you need the seniors to step up for your team.
Yeah, I think we're young and talented, right? Originally, our sophomore class, they were brought in and recruited to replace the Bozel and the McGuires, and they had the opportunity because of COVID to play with them for a year. So we had some freshmen get significant minutes last year, which was important. And then I think too, with adding this freshman class, that we really do. We've got some depth at the positions and the talent that we're looking for. So the leadership for us and Fabian and Katie Preble, Rachel Vaughn, Kelsey O, like we've got a good group of seasoned veterans that I think are doing a great job bringing along the younger group. But the freshmen and sophomores have proven they can play. So I think it's just about getting them more innings and at bats and getting them ready to roll into conference play.
Go ahead, Eric.
Just came out that Coach Compton, you'll be honoring her during the season here later on during the season. What was it like following her and taking over the program? The great tradition, obviously, you have over there.
Oh, I tell you what, because when Coach Compton was here, I was a player at North Carolina. When Coach Compton was here at South Carolina, and I've always had a tremendous amount of respect for her. I mean, South Carolina was always the team to beat in our region, and she won consistently over a long period of time. And so she just laid such a great foundation of success here, and it's something that we continue to talk about as a program. But I'm just really pleased that she's being honored by the university. I think it's fantastic for our alumni to come back and celebrate her. I've really, on a personal level, I've really appreciated her. We've been in touch ever since I've gotten the job, and she has been nothing but helpful to me. And anytime I've made the phone call, she's said yes, with the exception of once. And she told me no during COVID. I wanted her to get on a Zoom call. I was going to do a happy hour Zoom with some alumni, and she said no. But so no, she drew the line at Zoom calls for me. But anything else, though, come throw out a first pitch, come talk to the team, come do a voiceover. I mean, you name it, she's always been a yes, and very supportive and a Gamecock through and through. So I'm really glad we're honoring her legacy.
What was the advice she gave you when you took over?
You know what? It was, she gave me more things about managing South Carolina and the personnel, and but she just kept saying, she just kept encouraging me, like, you'll do great. You've got a great support system. It was just a lot of confidence, and knowing that you had a vote of confidence for her, helped me getting started. But she was really helpful in talking about the players that were here. And like I said, she was really gracious in my transition here.
Any final questions for Coach from anybody?